What's up, everybody? Back with another video. One of the topics that I want to talk about today that I promised I would hit is depression and my take on depression. And it's going to talk about my younger years of overcoming of the beginning stages of depression, and then it's going to go into like when I was depressed and then overcoming depression. And it started around when I was 12 because I just wanted to be a normal kid. I wanted to be like everybody else. I knew I had health issues. I knew that I couldn't learn as fast as everybody. I knew that I wasn't like developing as fast as everybody. And I was always just an outcast. Basically, I felt like I was just a shadow. I didn't feel like people really saw who I was or who I wanted to be, and I was always willing to help everybody, even though that I felt like I couldn't even help myself. I felt like I was just a wall in my own way. And so it really progressed when I hit my freshman year, because I was at the point of my freshman year, everybody that was older than me was always like, yo, you can't be doing what we're doing. I could have been in gangs. I could have did all these drugs and did all these negative things, but it's not that made me depressed. It's the fact that I made a lot of right decisions, but the right decisions is basically what made me depressed, because I never made like horrible choices. I was like, all right, well, drugs are bad, so I'm gonna go away from that because that's not where I want to be. But a lot of that, I'm alone because of it, and I was continuously alone because of it. I saw people going to parties, having all these great times, doing all these great things, while I'm sitting by myself like all the time, and just being alone it's a scary thing because you're the only one that's talking, and you ain't got nobody else to vent to. So I just felt like that because of when I hit high school and when I played sports, and just being in a new environment with a lot of different people, because it was a technical school, it was constant of getting picked on and getting made fun of because like I couldn't comprehend things as fast. I wasn't learning as fast. I would be in class trying to read, get picked on because I couldn't even read properly on some stupid book, and it's ridiculous that people will even make fun of you because of that stuff. Like looking back, I probably could have just overcame it, but it was constant. It was every day I get picked on for something that it was so small, but I let it get the best of me, and it was just every single day of like, oh, you're retarded, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're worthless, telling me I won't be anything. I was never the strongest. I never was the fastest. I was never the smartest. I would never finish first in anything. So but I always believed that I would be something, but eventually it just built up and it just kept on building, and I just kept getting put down, but I just wanted to build myself back up. But it's basically like this. Like, it's like you're outside shoveling the snow, but it keeps on snowing, and eventually you're going to run out of room to put it when you're in a small space. So when it just builds up around you, and like there's a slope right there that you could throw it down, but you don't see it. So you just keep looking at a wall, and eventually you just lay down. Like, you don't even see your shadow anymore, and it just gets so dark because of it. And that's really what pushed me to depression, was the fact of just constantly getting picked on and just getting put down. And I would always try to be great to everybody, and I would always try to put my best foot forward. Like, I would literally help you even if I I wouldn't show my pain, and I wouldn't put myself out there and be like, oh, well, I need help, but I kind of like hinted it. I just wanted somebody to ask if I was okay, because I knew I wasn't, but nobody did. Nobody ever asked me if I was okay, and that's how it was all the time. I would always ask if everybody else is okay. I would always want to make sure they're okay and make sure they're doing great, but nobody asked me if I was. And then it would be constant, like it was all the time of the same thing, repetition. And then between sports of something that I loved, like I love football, and that just getting completely crushed with the criticism and getting picked on, and like even the coaches, like I couldn't take it anymore. So I felt that I was like, what if I just make one mistake? What if I just say the heck with it? Like, I just wanted to see if people would actually care about me if I did take my own life, and I did say like, oh well, the heck with it. If I just keep making mistakes, and if and maybe people will look at it different, because I've seen other people make mistakes and they just they just, like, there's no repercussion from it. They just continue to make mistakes, and somehow they benefit from it. And I'm like, well, maybe I should start doing that. Maybe I'll get benefited from it. But then I looked at it as if, like, I can't do that because I have people that depend on me. Like, I have people that, like, count on me. And, you know, when I was at the point of my lows and I really felt like taking my life because of the constant being alone every weekend, you know, I never hung out with people. I never was a popular kid. Maybe in school they might have thought I was popular, but as soon as I get out of school, you know, nobody's hitting me up. Nobody's asking me how my day is. Nobody's telling me goodbye. Nobody's telling me hello. And it really got to me, and it broke me because I put so much effort into loving everybody else, but I just felt like I wasn't getting any love back. And, you know, it came a point where I was very close to just taking my own life because of it. But you know, when I had the gun in my hand and I thought about it, I was like, you know, I'm like, how can I be this selfish? How can I let something so small get to me and bring me down from who I am? Like, I know that I'm bigger than this, and I know I'm better, and then I can make myself better if I overcome this. And I know it might not happen now, it might not happen in 10 years or 20 years, but it'll eventually happen if I just keep working and keep striding. And that's, so I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it was faith, if it was God. I don't know what it was, but like something came over me, and I was like, I got to put this down. Like, I can't continue to let this happen to me. So one way that I basically saved myself was I started going to the gym. And like, the gym to me is like my safe place. Like, I go to the gym not only to like work out, get stronger, obviously, but it's like a home for me because I just feel like I can be myself in there. I ain't got to worry about nobody but myself. And the progress that I see from my body is the work that I'm putting in. And I know that it's the results that I'm making. And it's constant, you know. And I feel like people become depressed because they're alone, and they get lost because of it. And if somebody is like somebody's able to help them cope with it in some sort of way and just make them feel like a better person, because everybody's always self-centered and they always feel about themselves and they don't care about other people, and it's always me, and it's not about that other person. And that's how it was. Like, once I got older, I started going to parties, and I started like talking to people at the parties and stuff, and I'm like, yo, what makes you come here? Like, you know. And they're like, oh, I want to have fun, I want to do this and that. And it's always about, let's have 10 hours of fun on the weekend, but let's be depressed for 5 days out of the week. So you go to work depressed as shit, hating your life, and then you just hype for the weekend and you blow your money and you don't care about anything else but the weekend. And you can't live like that because you're going to crush yourself. You might be the most popular person in your 20s, but when you hit your 30s, you know, you might be in a cardboard box, and people take life for granted. They expect that they take the fact that they have a house. You know, there's people out there that live in boxes. There's people that don't even have a house, that have to build everything from scratch, and you take that for granted. The fact that like you have a car, that you can transport yourself to certain places and even hang out with people, you should be grateful for that, because I know people that are homeless on the streets now that don't even have any friends, you know. And that's why I really make these videos, and that's why I just wanted to like really try to overcome depression, and I wanted to try to better myself and just become the person that I wanted to be. And you know, like, this might not be the most straightforward video, but it's really just the best way I could explain it, because you know, like, taking this video, like, it's just making me like shake, because I like just remembering like where I was to where I am, and just overcoming the fact that I was depressed at one point, and that I was fortunate enough to not make that choice, and I decided to keep fighting for what I believed in. And you know, day by day, every day, it's gonna pay off eventually, and I just gotta keep striding. So as I want to end this video, I just want to say, if you feel depressed, if you feel alone, if you feel like an outcast, like don't be afraid. Like hit me up if you wanna just chat or talk, or just, you know what I mean. If you just feel like you need to vent to somebody, like I promise you, I know I can help you. So don't make that decision, and just believe in yourself, because you really do matter. That's it.